Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Star Blast Studios coming here with a brand new figure review, and today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the Vtoys BMS Death Knight. Now, this is going to be my first time ever reviewing a figure from this company. This figure was actually sent out to me by 5K Toys to make a review, so shout out to them, guys. If you do want to go ahead and pick up this figure, the best place to do so is to get it at 5ktoys.com. Link will be in the description down below. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what kind of character this is. The only thing that I know is that it looks a lot like Batman, but he has like the figure itself comes with like these other interchangeable headpieces that make it so it's not so much more like Batman. And if you actually look at the weapons that comes with the figure itself, it's not exactly Batman kind of weapons either. So there's a lot that goes with this figure. I don't know exactly very much about the character, but the figure itself, once you get it out of the packaging, looks immensely cool. So I can't wait to get into this review and show you guys what this thing is like. So anyways, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get this figure out of the box and see what it's like outside of the packaging. Alright, guys, so here we have the Vtoys Death Knight opened up and out of the packaging. And one thing I really got to commend them for is really just the absolute amount of awesome sculpting all throughout this figure. Just look at this head, man. You can see that there is no clean or flat area on this figure at all. Everything throughout this is like totally sculpted through. You can see like even on these shoulder pads, like there's like this skull right over here. And oh, when it comes to the design itself, I actually talked with some people, and pretty much what I've gathered is that this Death Knight is pretty much Vtoys' own interpretation of Batman while doing a lot of extra stuff. So there's a bunch of different playable things that they're doing with this figure just as their own design, and just anything and whatever that was just fun that they put in it. I really, sometimes when it comes to figurines, I like that they do stuff that really separates this, almost let that fell over. Things that just separate this from the original character that this was initially based off. Obviously this is Batman, but you know, it's clearly a bunch of other characters as well when you look at the multiple different amount of accessories that we will get into with this figure. But man, just taking a look at everything with the detail, like you have like these you have like this sculpted like shoulder pieces right over there. You obviously got the clearly Batman type of like blades right over there as well. Over here you got on the belt, you got like this golden plated belt over here. Oh no, when it comes to these pieces, these are all just connected with like a little bit of plastic, which I like because they're not going to get in any way of the articulation or hinder anything. And if you're worried about the shoulder pieces, these are actually connected with magnets, which end up playing a lot more, they have a lot more use for like later on. And they are just like a very soft plastic as well, so they're not going to be getting in any way of any articulation on it whatsoever at all, which I really do appreciate with this figure. Looking at the hands, you can see like there's some golden knuckles on there that matches the same color as the belt. And looking at the legs, you can see like a lot, again, lots of really awesome detail right over there. You got some blades coming out of the bottom of the, right at the back of the bottom of the leg as well. Looking at the back right over there, like lots of just absolutely gorgeous detail. Like, man, the sculpt work on this is just fantastic. And you even have like these golden, I don't know, no, they're not, you wouldn't call them claws, just like, just big gigantic bat nails, I guess, that are just like right over there. That just looks absolutely amazing. Now, when it comes to a couple of, to the issues that I have with this figure, there is just a few. One of them is when it comes to the bicep swivel, and on this figure, it's incredibly tight. Oh, not the yeah, it is the bicep swivel. I was thinking thigh swivel. No, I'm this the right thing. Bicep swivel. On this figure, it's like it's really tight. I think this one is a little bit, on this one it's a little bit tighter. Yeah, it's a lot tighter. It is very, very difficult. Oh, you can even hear like a little bit of clacking at times when you move this around. But that's just like one small issue. Another issue is that when it comes to the well, I guess I just found an issue by accident, is like that this is not supposed to happen. I guess the magnet just came off, like it just came unglued. I really wasn't doing anything at all with this figure. Like that is just, wow. We really just caught that on camera. Well, okay. I'll have to let 5K's Toys know about that one. So like when it comes to the I'll just put that off right over there. When it comes to the hands, an issue with them is that, like, because of the type of plastic that they used, the plastic itself also feels very strange. I guess we'll talk about that first before we get into the hands. And sometimes like the plastic can be like very sticky, and I know that my room is just like any people's, like, room temperature kind of room, which is like, maybe like 60 to the occasional 70 degrees inside of here. It's not that hot like that. It's a regular room temperature, for me at least, here in California. And the plastic is just like feeling really sticky. And the reason why I specifically bring up the temperature in my room, okay, and this is something that was highlighted to me when I read the back of the box, and this is something that's concerning to me, like very much so, is that on this specific part of the box, it says, please keep this product away from any place with high temperature or under the sun to avoid deformation, which is what is concerning me, because if this is what's really going on here, which is why the plastic is feeling sticky and hard to move sometimes, and it's just like in any regular room, then the plastic that they use to make this figure is really concerning. Some of the plastic is very, just like the choices that they made are very interesting. As for example, here we have a gripping hand, and this is going to be for him gripping onto his accessories. A lot of the plastic that they use is like a very tough plastic. It's not pliable at all, so it makes it so that that plastic what you use to like hold on to a sword, for example, like you can't really get him. To me, I'm having a lot of trouble getting him to hold on to the sword, and I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. I'm pretty sure this is the widest hand that is actually available to me to make him hold on to the sword with this one. The other thing, and this is the smallest weapon. This is the smallest of his three weapons that he's included with, and if I'm having trouble with this, that's an issue. I mean, the bigger weapon, actually, since we're getting into the accessories, is his scythe, and this one I can somewhat get him to actually hold on to, because it's just like on the bottom of the scythe there's like less plastic debris on here, so yeah, I can get him to hold on to this part just fine. But like, it's just, the complaint is, it's just a lot of the other how am I supposed to even get him to hold on to this sword, man? Like, if you're going to include accessories with this, at least try to make it usable. And since this is just basically a review sample that 5K Toys has sent me, I don't want to risk putting this into hot water, and especially with the issues that I was talking about with the figure, like with the plastic getting sticky, seemingly because of the temperatures in here. It's not even that hot. I'm really just, again, I don't want to mess around too much with this figure and get this out, but like I'll try to commend them with what I can regarding what they did on here. But there's a lot of issues that I feel like shouldn't be had, and I guess it is like, a third-party company, and for Vtoys, it is my first time ever getting a figure from them. But from what I'm seeing right over here, there's just these issues that I'm having are very much troublesome when it comes to the figure overall. The sculpting is beautiful. The accessories that they included are great, and even the multiple heads that they included as well are really good with this figure. But again, you're still running into these like issues with that tremendously bring the figure down as a result of the plastic and the accessories, and just the ability to execute basic things that you would with the figure, and removing the hands and stuff like that. I can actually go ahead and remove the wrist and try to interchange something right over here. If I can get this off, you can see like my hands are shaking. Okay, there we go. That managed to get off, and nothing broke, because I don't think that the plastic is going to break if you force it off. But it is something, you got to be very, very careful with when it comes to interchanging this, especially because with these, like getting this back on, getting this hand on, for example. I complained about it being difficult to interchange the hands on this new Super Saiyan Goku from Tamashii Nations. And that one is easy compared to this. This one is just like, it's so difficult, and you can see that on my hands, on my fingers right over here, like I'm having dent marks from trying to push the hands in all the way, and I can't get them into here. And this is a tremendous problem that I'm having with this figure. So I'm gonna try to just just show you everything when it comes to the accessories. We'll get into the articulation and scaling, and try to show as much as I can of this figure without messing too much around with it. Now when it comes to the accessories on this figure, it does come with a pair of fists, which does come out of the packaging. You also get a pair of relaxed kind of hands, which is actually, the one I'm pointing at is actually the gripping hands for this sword, which I'm using to point at the accessories. These are the relaxed hands, and the ones above that are even bigger gripping hands, which is meant for holding onto his scythe accessory, which we'll get into in a little bit. When it comes to this accessory right over here, what this is like a little handle that you can go ahead and put over and hang over this lamp. So this lantern is sculpted really just absolutely beautifully. So the cool feature about this, right, other than the little hook, which I'll talk about this right over here before we get into the other part with this lantern, you can basically take this hook and like put it through the little hole right over here, and it just hangs right over. And that to me is just like a really like demonic type of accessory. I really like how that just looks. The way that this lantern is sculpted, it's absolutely fantastic. I know I called it a lamp a little bit ago. I meant to say lantern, so please excuse me. So the other thing about this lantern is that this top piece is actually removable. You can go ahead and take that off, and then there's like a little port here, which I assume what this is meant for is you can take some sort of LED lights that go right into this and just like have whatever color, like have this lantern glow whatever color you want it to from the inside, and that kind of playability is just like absolutely fantastic. Oh, and this plastic piece is also removable, and there is like this arrow that is pointed downwards, which I assume that this arrow is meant to sort of link up with this arrow, so that like you make sure that when you put this thing back together, they're both pointing in the same direction, and you can pretty much figure out where these things are supposed to go, and so you can just align these up, which I will just do right over here right now, which this can be quite tricky putting it back together every once in a while, but you know, once you get the hang of it, you're not going to run into that many problems. Although just be wary, as the plastic that holds them together is very thin, and I feel like it can be very fragile if you are mishandling it. Now, when it comes to the heads on this figure, we already did take a look at this Batman-looking head. Again, really nicely sculpted on here as well. I absolutely love how this thing turns out. But you also get like this skull head, which I have no idea why they included this as an accessory, what the idea is meant for this, but like, man, this looks absolutely just fantastic. It is a beautiful looking skull. Again, I don't know why this is an interchangeable head, but hey, I'm all for it just because of how cool it looks. And then this one, he's just an absolute demon. He looks like he is like just a crazy maniacal demon that has come from the depths of hell, ready to just slay people. And I'm all for it. Again, it looks absolutely fantastic. So I will show you guys what the figure looks with these heads on right now. Now, when it comes to actually interchanging the heads, one of the unfortunate problems I run into, it comes with the double ball peg. Now, I do like the fact that they implemented a double ball peg like for the head, because it allows for a lot more range of movement. But the issue is, for example, if I plug in this head, say I put this head, and I want to just put this head in, I just want to pose him around, I get this thing right in there. Okay, it can be very tight to get in there, but like you can get it on. I've done this off camera multiple times. You can get this head on. Come on, you can do it. So once you get it on, okay, obviously it fits on very securely, and the head on here looks absolutely great. As a matter of fact, I dare say that this head transforms the figure, and this is like no longer even Batman anymore. I mean, it's just like even though there's a bat symbol right there, there's just like, this ain't Batman no more, bro. But let's say what I want to do is I want to interchange the head. I take that off. Oh no, what? The double ball peg, it came out of here, and now it's stuck on this head. And you saw how tightly it was to get this head on. That's going to be a very big pain to actually get this off. So one trick that I actually do in order to get this, like, this is a little yo-yo string that I have just, you know, lying around in my junk drawer and stuff. So basically I can take this and I put it through the double ball peg, right? And then I make sure to tie like the yo-yo string around, and then you just, oh. Well, usually I guess it's much more easier for me to do it off camera, but like basically the idea does work. I've done it like this multiple times. You take the string right through here, You tie it around, and then I'll just do it off camera because I can't seem to show it on here no matter what I do. Okay, and that was the snap of the double ball peg coming right out of the of there, and then basically you got to put the head right back on over here. And the frustrating thing is, like, okay, so let's say the one easy tactic you could do to get it back on is you just take a head that you want to interchange with it already, and just like sort of use that as the leverage to help you push this back into the figure. So I'm just using the skull right now. So okay, there we go. The double ball peg is back in, and you could just basically take the skull head and insert that in there as well, and you pretty much got a dead Batman. So just Batman being dead within his within his costume. So there you go. That's another thing you can do with this figure if you want it. But the coolest thing about this head is that this is the easiest one you can actually take off. You just sort of pull it by the chin and pull it off like that, and you know that goes off easily. But I did run into the same problem with like with this head as I did with the demon head, like just trying to get this on here. And so, like, just to show you, I'll even do like the same technique and stuff. Yeah, it still does very much come off when you try interchanging it. So I'm just gonna leave this head on here for like the rest of the review. But yeah, to get into the other accessories that this thing is included with, you get 3 beautifully sculpted weapons that goes along with this figure. Now, starting off over here on the left, we do have this sword, which looks like a absolutely just fantastic sword. I really like the sculpting that's over here on the bottom of the handle. You do like this, have this very nice hilt piece right over here as well, and the blade, the way that it's colored and the way that it is sculpted throughout just looks absolutely fantastic. You even have a little bit of detail right over there that I didn't even notice on that section of the sword. It looks beautiful. Then you have this absolutely badass scythe over here. Like, this just looks fantastic. It looks like some sort of like hardened symbiote type of scythe with like the really nice red and gold throughout in the center right over there to make it look like it is just blazing out of hell. Like, everything about this is like a burnt molten lava, with like that piece right over there still being very hot. You have like this golden piece right over there at the handle, and another like golden colored part right over there that goes right all the way down with the sculpting, just like finishing off at the bottom. It just absolutely beautiful. And if you're the person who likes the red and black colors, then this sword absolutely just does it. I love the molten lava like effect that is going throughout this thing. Again, just like you have like the cracks right over here that's in the sword. Like just to say that, you know, this sword has been used multiple times before. Like, it is chopped off a bunch of people's heads. Like, you have like that river of lava seemingly going throughout, and like the lava sort of going around the sword as well. Like, just absolutely beautiful. Like, love how this thing is done. You have like that spiralist sort of bit of lava that's sculpted right in there, and again with this the bit of sculpting right over there on the bottom of the handle. That's just absolutely beautiful. Now, there is actually one cool feature you can do with this sword, and it has to do with this very thing that's built in right in that circle right there. Now, on the back of this figure, you may have noticed that there was a magnet that was put into the back right there, and what that is actually meant for is for the sword, because there is a built-in magnet that is right underneath the sculpting of this. So this can just hang on right over, like, underneath this figure, and this is not coming off at all. It looks absolutely beautiful. I love that sword, like that feature is implemented right over here. It just adds for a lot more playability and posability with this figure. Absolutely fantastic. Now, for the final accessory, this figure is included with a cloth cape with wiring underneath it. And I know that my buddy Daredevil19 will absolutely be happy with this if he was to be reviewing this figure. This thing just looks absolutely fantastic. The weathering that is underneath it, the material that it is made of, the bloodiness that's the seemingly bloodiness like thing that's like right on the ends of the cape. That could be blood or dirt or just a lot of different things. It just looks absolutely fantastic. You even have, like, over here on the hood of the cape itself, because the hood is actually, you can just sort of put down or put up whatever you want, but over here on the top, there's some holes that are put in so that when you put this over the figure, and there wasn't any instructions, so putting this over the figure was confusing, but you basically have to like take these areas right over here, because this part is wired. You just sort of take that and you put it over like this, and you take off the shoulder pieces right over here, and it's just supposed to sort of sit over him like this. And I was really confused by this at first, but then I realized like, okay, so let's just get this all the way on, even with the hood on as well. So what you're actually supposed to do, and the only reason why I figured this out was because of the promo images on 5ktoys.com, is you're supposed to take these shoulder pieces and then put them right over on this figure, and that's what's supposed to sort of help lock this cape in. I really wish there was they would have put in like other methods in order to make it easier to, you know, attach the cape to the figure. Like, there's literally a gigantic magnet on the back of him. Why not put in like a magnet on like in the center of the cape so that, you know, it can attach on easier? I feel like that would have just been a very, you know, easy way to do that. And, you know, just like, again, I like that the fact that, you know, these pieces are on here and like how it looks when put out, but to me, a more secure fit would have been to make it so that the cape can attach on it. Okay, this, because of the magnets not being glued on here properly, that shoulder piece is just like, it's not gonna go on as well as it should. I'll probably just use my own glue or something like that to and reconnect the magnet on. But yeah, I really wish they would have done some better means to connect the cape on this figure itself. That would have been a lot easier for this figure, in my personal opinion. Now, when it comes to the height of this figure, it is a 1/12 scale figure, so a bunch of your 6" scale action figures aren't quite going to match up in with the scale in general. So, for example, here we have a Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, and you can see just how much this Death Knight really towers above this figure overall. It's definitely, again, not meant to fit into the same scale, but some figures that do kind of fit into the scale, but they're 7" scale, and they're kind of a little bit taller. Let's just get these figures in here. Here it is standing next to the Mortal Kombat McFarlane Toys Spawn figure, as well as the 2018 movie Venom figure. And when it comes with Venom, I think that the scaling actually works a lot better when it comes to these two figures standing side by side. Here it is standing next to the SH Figuarts Injustice Batman, as well as the SH Figuarts Injustice Joker. And for the final size comparison, since I'm bringing in a bunch of random figures, here it is standing right next to the Marvel Select Carnage, as well as the Marvel Select comic version Thanos. Now, when it comes down to the articulation, I feel like they did a pretty good job with it overall. So obviously the head is on a double ball peg because we looked at it a little bit earlier, and it pretty much gives you all of the range of motion that you would need. He can pretty much look, let's just take this accessory out since it's going to keep on falling over. The head can look this far up. This far, yeah, I think that's far up. It's a little, I feel like it should be able to look a little bit farther. I think with the skull head, it can look a little higher. It can look this far down, and yeah, you pretty much get all the range. Like I said, there is no other piece of like a lower neck articulation, so that's all we got really right there for the neck. And since this part is really just off, we'll just go ahead and look at this arm, since, you know, you can pretty much see how all of the articulation is on here without any hindrance of the magnet shoulder piece. So yeah, you pretty much had that going on right there. Very tight bicep swivel, like we've talked about earlier. You do have a really good double jointed arm. Goes in a lot more than 90 degrees, that's for sure. When it comes to the wrist, you do have like the wrist hinge that we're pretty much known for getting on SH Figuarts and a lot of import companies right over there, and you get pretty much exactly the amount of range as you would expect. Now, when it comes to the torso, I guess I'll take this off right over here. He can, with both torso joints, he can crunch this far forward. He can go this far back. So there's a really good amount of torso articulation right there. You do have a waist swivel right over there. And, you know, looking at it, you can pretty much get him going all over the place for a lot of very dynamic poses and whatnot. When it comes to the legs, you can get him kicking out this far forward and this far back, I'm pretty sure. There's no upper thigh swivel right over there, so you just, when it comes to the legs, he can do the splits around that much, but, you know, just enough for him to really be able to pull off a kick right there. You do have, well, I guess you kind of have like thighs, like upper thigh swivel, but it's not really something that's built in. It's just as a result of the, oh no, it is built in. Okay, I didn't even notice this, but like, yeah, it's just like the way that they put it in there. It's like it's hidden by the plastic that's in there, but no, there's definitely some upper thigh swivel right over there. So I like that. I didn't even realize it was there, but it's there. So you do have like the double jointed knees, which I feel like some people would complain about this. For me, it doesn't bug me personally, but you do see like the cut that happens right there as a result of of using that feature. When it comes to the feet, they are on double ball pegs, which I really wish they would have just used like a hinge. But like, yeah, the feet is very, it's difficult to get any range out of it. So it can go down this much, it can go shifting it forward, it can go forward this much, and then you're not getting really any ankle or like ankle pivot out of there because it's just a very stiff joint right there. So that is a little frustrating to actually go ahead and use. But yeah, when it comes to articulation, that's all we got right over there. So definitely with the articulation, there's some things that could have been done better, but there's other things about this figure that really impresses me, like with the torso joint. But yeah, overall, that's what we got over here when it comes to the articulation. Now, when it comes to my final thoughts on this figure, I think I gotta really commend Vtoys for doing a lot of what should be looked after when you're making a figure by itself. They nailed it with the sculpt. They did really good on the detail. They did pretty good on the paint, and on the articulation, it could have been a little bit better. But I think overall, it's very much passable for this figure. But the one thing that I think really just brings this figure down is the execution. The plastic problems that I'm having in the QC, issues with the magnet falling off, and the difficulty with interchanging the head, and having the hard time of interchanging the hands and not even being able to hold on to his weapons. A lot of these factors really, I feel, bring this figure down, and I really do want to enjoy this figure. Again, one thing I can commend Vtoys for is that I really feel like they've tried. They sincerely did their best work. I feel like when it came to trying, like this sculpt work that you've seen on this figure is not something that you can just like go ahead and make. There is clearly a lot of care that went into making this figure. The accessories that they included on here are absolutely substantial, and what I think really brings this figure like far up, like way higher than I feel like this figure could have gotten like without it. Like the cape that they included as well, the fact that they went and made it, you know, a wired cloth cape, and like even try like using like the weapons, the way that they sculpted all of these weapons and the accessories that they were trying to add more playability with the interchangeable skull head and the demon head and everything like that. They've sincerely tried to make an absolutely gorgeous figure, and everything that they've put work into, I can tell, has been complemented with lots of effort. And now, when it comes to this figure, if you're one of those people that just want to sort of have this thing as a display piece, and you just want to have it just like sitting on a shelf, just posed around in a certain way that you would like, then I feel like this figure can genuinely work for you. But when it comes to me, when it comes to a bunch of people that want to take multiple photos of this and pose it around and pretty much take the figure to the limit in terms of, you know, messing around with it and stuff, I have a hard time really being able to recommend this figure, because a lot of these issues, again, it brings the figure down, like playability wise and posability wise, and it's very difficult for me to recommend this figure. I really do want to thank 5K Toys for sending this figure out for me to go ahead and review for you guys. But again, like there's so much effort has been put in here, but the thing that really I feel makes the figure fall is the execution of the plastic. And really, that's what I gotta say. Like there's so much potential that I can see for the Vtoys company and BMS. They've shown that they've really got a lot of, you know, good ideas going, and a lot of really like talented people working for the company. The thing that they really need to work on is their QC problems and their quality control. And once they get that figured out, I feel like we have a really solid company on our hands. But yeah, that is it for this review, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys did enjoy the video. I will see you guys in the comment section. Till then.